everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have a fun card for you today, and it's super quick and super easy, but it doesn't look like it is. Before I get going on the card, let's remember that a new catalog starts in May, but I will be ordering my copies of it April 1st. So I need to know how many I need to order. If you don't have a demonstrator and you've never had a catalog before and you're in the US, let me know. That part's very important. I've had a few people now pay for them and they don't live in the US. Our contract only lets us send them in the United States. So if you have purchased from me since January, you'll automatically get one. And if you haven't purchased in 2024, but you've purchased from me in the past, then message me and we'll get that worked out. I have been making lots of samples from the stuff that I have pre-ordered from this, and today we'll continue that. So I'm just gonna flip through these real quick in case you've missed any of these tutorials. There's also one that talks about the color wheel, and then one where I show you everything that I got so far. Not everything, because it came in a couple of different orders, but all of it that came in the first order. So these are all things, this was yesterday's. So super fun stuff. I'm really looking forward to working with it. I have 2 more cards and then my Try It Class first card. You don't want to miss the Try It Class card because this time when I open registration, I'm going to have a set number of packets available, and when they're gone, they're gone. In the past, I've kind of let it fill up to generally where I'd like it to be. This time we're gonna cut a little fewer packets than we normally do, and it always fills that class. So I'll show you the first project of the 10 that we'll make together and fully explain what the Try It class is in that video. So it will be coming soon. I'm gonna do the airplane and the shopping cart, and then I haven't 100% settled on which card's gonna be the Try It, but it will be up there. So for currently, we are still in this catalog, which goes through the end of April. April 9th, we will have a big sale on a lot of stuff. I'm going to show you a couple of those sale items today. If you want the new catalog the fastest way from me, then I will order those on April 1st. And as soon as I get them, I will send them out to the first batch of people. Will be anybody who purchased from me in March, because those will go with your thank you gifts. So I wanted to show you the thank you gifts. I've used all the white out of this glimmer paper. So this is the $50. Spend $50 and you're going to get a packet of this. I am going to cut it into 4x6 sizes just to make the shipping easier, but it's still very usable. So this is an online exclusive Berry Burst Old Olive and White glimmer paper. Like I said, the white is missing, but it looks like the old dazzling diamonds. And then at $200, you get this, and you get these folders that are online exclusives, which I realize I haven't even used yet. Got them, opened them, and they've been sitting on my desk forever, but now they look like a desk decoration. Does that happen to you? So starting around April 1st, I will showcase some of the products that are on sale, some of the products that I'm going to miss most that are retiring, and then I will do a walkthrough around probably the 7th of the stuff that's the most on sale, but I want you to get on your list and get up bright and early on the morning of the 9th to order. So a couple of those things are on today's card. I'm going to use this fun hybrid bundle for today's card, Seaside Wishes. So you can see the set has some sand dollars, starfishes, some sand, and some really fun sentiments with a great font. These are the dies that I'm not using, which are the only one I am using is this. So these are the rest of the dies that you get. And I took these out. The starfish, they're mounted on blocks, but it ended up that I didn't use them. But it is a hybrid. So let's do that first. We have several hybrid sets now. I love them. They're super fast. As I was doing this, I thought, this could be on a Try It class, because we get 3 with 1 pass. So you wouldn't get all 3, but you'd get 1 it's not part of a suite, so it doesn't have a paper. So what you want to do is pop these in here and they will lock in. So once you have them in, you'll feel it kind of lock into place. Maybe. There we go. So you can see once they're where they need to go, it just stays there. So it takes your base plate and then the folder and the die. I'm going to stick some vanilla cardstock in here and then close it. You just want to make sure that, because they lock into place, like you can move this and they're not really going to go anywhere. I just want to make sure this isn't the best size of cardstock there, Cheri. It could have gotten a little bit larger. And then I always run it through with the Stampin' Up logo up, and then crease side first. And we'll just send this through just one time. Don't do it twice. And don't be afraid. I know sometimes people are like, oh, I'm afraid it's going to cut. It's not going to cut as long as it's locked in. If you don't have it locked in, then it may cut your folder. But I've never had one cut, and we've used them in a lot of my classes. So then you get this. You have this background that you can use. I was going to use it on mine, and then I ended up using the stamps instead. But you could save that and use it for sand. And then we have our 3 sand dollars already cut, already embossed, and they look rather real. So let's make the card. I wanted these to pop a little bit more. I mean, you can see them. They look really pretty, right? But I just wanted to be able to notice that they had that fun embossing. So I took the new basic beige, which will be in the upcoming catalog, and just a sponge dauber. You could use a blending brush if you'd rather. And then just ever so lightly, I just rubbed around it. And this will just pick up a little bit of the raised up parts, the embossed parts. I was at a loss for a word there. So we have that, and you can see they just kind of pop a little bit then. And you know, I'm going to do them different. That one I've done that direction up. This one I'm going to do the other way. Because you know, if you saw them laying on the beach, they would have all different kinds of textures, and this kind of helps. It's not the back of a sand dollar, because we all know what that looks like, right? But it just gives a little bit of a different, that one's going, the embossing's going in, and that one's going up. And then let's do this one. We'll do it up as well, which I think is upside down in the folder. So maybe sand dollars, maybe the little parts go in. I don't know. I'll do it like this because I feel like this is the way the Stampin' Up! Artist thought it was supposed to go. So now you can see that it just pops that a little bit, especially this bit on top. So the beige, I think it has like a tinge of green. The Sahara sand was not as green. It does dry a little bit lighter, and that's a lot of ink. So I'm going to use it again so you can kind of see it stamped. So here is a piece of the beige. And you can see, because I have so much ink on there, it has a tinge of green. But as soon as I stamp it, it's not going to look like that. So here is a 4 by 5 1/4 panel. Here. These aren't all of them. There was 1 or 2 more, but these are like little sand pieces. So I'm going to stamp beige on beige. And then as it dries a lot lighter. So I'm going to show you what it looks like dry on the one at the end. And maybe by then this will have lightened up some. So I'm just kind of piecing together the little rocks, kind of a rock wall. Try not to stamp over the top of any. You want to kind of turn them all around so it doesn't look like the same pieces. This would also be good if I was scrapbooking pictures of Scotland or Ireland, England. It looks like a nice stone fence. You could make one easily with this. That looks good. So we have that. And then let's take the sentiment. And for this, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. And this one says, "You absolutely made my day." That's a fun sentiment, huh? Let's stamp this on here. Because it's photopolymer, it's easy to see. Just line it right up here along the bottom. We have that. And then there is some like water spray stamp, just little dots. So we'll add a little bit more Misty Moonlight. And I did the words first because now I can control this not being over the top of my words, because if you have blue right over the top in this strong of a one, they would be harder to read. Just give some water spray. Now here's some of the stuff that is retiring. So what I did was I took my catalog, and I just took my retired list, which you can print this off from my emails that I've been sending or from my websites on both. If you can't find it, let me know and I'm happy to send it to you. And you can see I have just crossed off, and this is what we'll walk through. But I wanted to show you the ribbon page because yeah, everything on this page will be gone, but everything will be on sale starting on the 9th of April. So I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight ribbon. So here's what happens with the sale stuff. It, in theory, means we have more of it. That's why it's on sale. But sometimes because it's going to be on sale, it will sell out quicker. So like for this, if you really want the black and white gingham, it's 10% off. So you have to kind of weigh, do I want it or do I want a chance that saving the 10%? This will be 30% off. Several of the ribbons are 40, and I will show them to you and the ones that are my favorite when I do the catalog walkthrough. So I am going to take, I thought this had a fun nautical feel to it. This bundle is not part of a suite, so there wasn't any paper or matching ribbon. I'm just going to tie a knot because you know knots are nautical, right? And so here, when you use a ribbon like this, you're going to make sure that you flip it as you pull this knot. So this is going that way. See how I did that? Just kind of turn it in there before you pull the knot. And I don't want it terribly tight because I do want it to have some texture on the card. So this will be 30% off. I love mixing the new with the old because just because something's in one catalog or an online exclusive doesn't mean that you can't use it. Oh, before I put that on there, I did stamp a couple of the large, and I think it's probably gonna be really hard to see on camera. I can't even see it on my own card. You can see it up close in person. So I did re-ink this a little bit more with some white. I just stamped a couple of these in the background. Oh yeah, it helped that I re-inked that. So let's get, and these are the $100 stamps out of the set. My pad desperately needed to be re-inked. So now you can see that much better than you could before I re-inked it. Let's add this. Just a little dot there, and that will grab where our knot is. You can see how nice and flat that is. Flip this around. Fold this over. And then I debated, did I want it on white? Did I want it on vanilla? And in the end, I went with the Misty Moonlight to kind of tie the ribbon and the water splatter in. Some here. When you do your ribbon like this, you want to make sure that you have some extra adhesive right there that's going to grab that. It's pretty just like that. The $100, I tried them in some other colors. They're all in the trash. Let me pull them out for you because I wanted it to be settled. And here's one I can reach. So here it was the beige. This was crumb cake. I felt like those were too, when you put this on top, there was too many $100 going on. But I liked the overall feel of the $100 being in the background, so the white does that. And like I said, when you're in person, you can see them more. I know on camera it's not going to pick it up very well. So let's add our $100 to this. I'm going to do 2 of them flat to the card. And let's grab a dimensional. I told you this card is so incredibly easy, isn't it? Pull these off. I'm looking forward. We'll be at the beach in about 5 weeks. I think 5 weeks. The Stampin' Up! Trip is the end of April, and we're going to Cheri in Mexico. Now I want a little bit more water spray, so I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight blend. Just give it a couple of whacks, and that kind of gives it a little bit more water spray. And then there's so many embellishments that you could use on this. I decided to go for the classic matte dots, which this is how I know which ones of mine are retiring, is I took giant yellow stickies and put, that means it's retiring, and it means on the 9th they'll be 40% off. That way, as I use things over the next couple of days, I can tell you. And then when the catalog is completely over, I will be able to just look for the yellow stickies and take that stuff and move it. Because if I don't move it out of my studio, then I'll find myself for a year being like, oh, I feel like this retired. Did this retired? But this one has white, gray, black, and then this fun vanilla. So I'm going to put 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pearls. So you can see this is already lightening up. This may still have a tinge of green, but look at this one. This one doesn't have green at all. So it's just because the ink is wet. I don't want you to think it's green. You can see here it's lightening up too. And I just made this, and it's raining. Whenever it rains, it takes the ink longer to dry. So there you go. If you need a catalog, if you want your catalog first, then you have a couple more days left to place that order, because the March order is over $50. We'll get theirs sent with their thank you gift. But if you have any questions at all, if you need a catalog, just let me know. And everybody have a great one. Bye.